And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. After a very short break, videos are done, and we are jumping into our next series of the broadcast. Once again, we're here in the round of 16 to determine who will face off against Shin in the next round. As spawning in the bottom-hand corner of Tokamak, we have the French Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Protoss player, the red Protoss himself, representing among SC2 people. It is ReBellioN. And if you're in the chat, predictions are now open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we jump into our fresh best of 3. Let's go. Let us go. As we have our TvP, and Clem has been playing a certain style as of late. If you've been watching StarCraft over the past week of play, you would know that Clem has been doing almost exclusively mech versus Protoss. We've been seeing a lot of mech versus Protoss from players like Cure, from players like Gabe, from players like Maru, from players like of course Gumiho and Ryung, but they've been playing mech since forever. But it's become more mainstream. Ever since EWC, ever since Esports World Cup, it has become a lot more mainstream, and the meta has shifted to the point where we're seeing a lot more mech against Protoss. Thankfully, not everyone is doing this. We were praising Beyond this morning in Pegasus Cup for showcasing some incredible bio play, some incredible Ghost Liberator play as well in the late game against Hero. If you missed it, I highly recommend watching Pegasus Cup. Pegasus Cup this morning was insane, and the highlight for the tournament was Hero versus Beyond, for sure, 100%. Best of five between Hero and Beyond. I do highly recommend it. And we did make some jokes at the time. We made some jokes like, someone send the replays to Clem so Clem can stop playing mech. Because Beyond was looking insane, and I'm hoping that maybe, you know, I know that Clem probably just woke up, but you know, maybe he got a bit of a tingling as to what was happening in the morning and is maybe aware of what occurred. Otherwise, we're expecting this to be like a 1-1-1 opener into a second and third factory into mech. That's kind of what we're leaning towards here, as that's almost exclusively what Clem has been playing in very recent time. Like, again, over the past like 7 days. I still need to watch it. You do. I recommend it. Pegasus Cup, semifinals, best of 5, Hero Beyond. It was crazy. That's some solo TvP. Meanwhile, speaking of solo TvP, we are going for something more quirky here. ReBellioN going for a Stargate opener. Okay, this is a much more niche opener nowadays, just because it does leave you vulnerable to certain builds, especially aggressive builds. Oh, he confirms. Yeah, Clem does confirm. He's aware of the Stargate, he's aware of the Oracles, and we should be reacting with Cyclones. Oh boy, with Cyclones, we're going for the initial medevac. We can make Vikings after this as well. So we'll see how Clem does prepare. We already have our first Cyclone. Oh, we're going for the tank behind this as well. As ReBellioN, instead of moving out, he's setting up Stasis Rafts back at home. Interesting. Does set up before moving out. Vikings on the way for Clem. And we are rushing into the Fleet Beacon. Okay. ReBellion's got some builds. So Stargate opener, not into Phoenix, Stargate into Fleet Beacon into... Are we rushing Tempest? I would imagine. We could be rushing Carrier. But I'm a little bit concerned as the Oracle does hit the mineral line. Getting 4 CV kills, not bad. He gets 4 CVs. Gets 2 Marines, but the Viking will shut this down. Zero has to get the hell out of here. Has to pull away. Ooh, Stasis Trap does connect. But Clem is going for the pylon. And this will delay production. This pylon does go down. I'm pretty sure this was meant to be a carrier rush. I think we've seen that from ReBellioN before, but all Stalkers are falling. Brutal pickoffs. Yeah, another Stalker does go down. A lock on the final Stalkers. And Clem, he might just kill here and now. We have a mothership. We have a mothership on the way. I mean, the Stargate's depowered. He can't make anything even if he wanted to. And Clem is just going for the kill. He's just going for the kill, going for the throw. So we didn't even get a chance to get into mech and get into additional production buildings. As mech is breaking the natural. And no mining whatsoever. Clem did lose a little workers across the map. Like, his worker count is very low. But he's got the army, and that's what matters. As boys are being pulled into what? Into 10 Marines. Oh god, the tank boys are brutal, and GG gets called with that Clem. He will take game number 1. Whew, GG. GG, well played. I appreciate ReBellioN whipping out some quirky builds here. Stargate opener into Fleet Beacon into, again, I'm pretty sure it was meant to be carrier rush, but the Stargate was depowered, so he couldn't make a carrier. He couldn't do anything, and we saw Clem instantly react, instantly response to the scout, and just punish the build of ReBellioN. GG. GG, well played. In the end was punished, and now we're getting into game number 2. We'll see if ReBellioN can stabilize. We'll see what build ReBellioN goes for this time. Now, I don't expect to see another fast Fleet Beacon out of ReBellioN. That's typically something you do once in a series. Up next, we should be seeing something different. Maybe a robo opener into an immortal based all-in, maybe a proxy. We're expecting something more abnormal, something not standard. Show us what you got. Show us what you got. Let's go. Did he just recall a single Oracle into the Terran army? Yes, he did. that did happen. Bappy, what else could he do? It was the writing was kind of on the wall there. Things were looking dire, but regardless, we're getting into game 2 and spawning in the top right hand corner of ley lines. We have the French Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the pink Protoss player. We have the South Korean Protoss representing among SC2 people. It is ReBellioN. Here we go. So we're getting into game 2, and our eyes are on our Protoss once again. Show us what you got, man. Show us what you got. Meanwhile, double gas open out of Clem, and going for a more tech-heavy style, going for a faster factory, into a faster starport, into a delayed CC. As ReBellioN is coming in for the scout. Does move in. Will cause a bit of a disruption here when it comes to the economy, forcing out another SCV, but outside of that, Clem should be secure. So waiting for that factory. Back at home at Gate Saber expand out of ReBellioN. Standard opener. Safe opener. And ReBellioN, he didn't quite see the gases, didn't quite see the factory. For all he knows, it could be a CC a little bit further back in the main base. So ReBellioN, he's a little bit in the dark as to what's going on. Technically, Clem could turn this into a one base all-in, but okay. Just 2-in-1 in gas. We'll expand. We'll expand, we'll get a CC. And what we're waiting for here is tech of choice for ReBellioN. Does he go Stargate again? Does he go Twilight Council? Does he go into a Robo? We're waiting for ReBellion's tech. Meanwhile, from Clem, we're waiting to see if he gets an earlier tech lab. We're waiting to see how he gets into his starport production here. So far, no one in mind. Going for the initial Hellion. I would imagine just for scouting. Ooh, going Reactored Reaper. So he's going to commit a little bit harder. Reaper does pull away. But basically, Reactor Reaper Hellion is meant to ideally get into a mineral line, where you bypass the army, you bypass this wall, you get into the mineral line, you roast up probes, and you get an economic lead early on. We'll see if Clem can pull it off, as he's about to reveal his hand. I say that depth does shade away. And here comes Clem. He's moving out. Here comes the first tech lab. Tech lab on the factory. We can then go into an add-on swap into, say, Banshee play. Or Raven. It does keep the tech lab on the factory, going for the Cyclone. So far, ReBellion's in position, does wall off. He has a force field, he has a sentry. Clem goes up the ramp, but the pylon should not go down. It's taking a lot of hits, though. Jesus. Oh, there's a force field. Nicely done. Force field at the natural. The pylon is getting very low. One Reaper goes down, but he will get the pylon. Yeah, pylon falls. Ay, ay, ay. Again, that should not have happened. Clem rotates, but the natural is solid. So on the one hand, Clem doesn't get into a mineral line, but he does still find damage. And behind this, if you recall in game 1, we spoke about how we expected mech out of Clem, but the game didn't last that long. Here, we're now finally getting into mech. So mechville accelerators into a second and third factory into mech, which is what Clem has been doing and nothing but mech over the past like week or so in TvP. It's been a lot of mech. A lot of mech. So far the pylon goes down. Oh. Taste of the pylon, trades with the army. That one cyclone putting in a lot of damage to the back line. Oh, gets a lock on. But so far ReBellioN is holding. At the same time does force field. Once ReBellioN, he's on point with his force field. Is on point. Now, has ReBellioN been watching Clem recently? Because he could blindly just assume that Clem is playing mech. Just because, again, this has been his MO. Oh, that is a third CC before additional factories. Okay. Got my attention. Greedy follow-up out of Clem. There are the factories. So more of an economic variation of mech because of the faster third. Poke in. When it comes to versus mech play, ideally you do want a gateway heavy composition, very gateway heavy. We have seen a lot of players experiment with going into Bay into Colossus, of going into Storm, of going into Skytoss, but yeah, going for a more gateway heavy style is typically what you want. Storm is going to be less useful and less effective here, as mech is a little bit more robust and mobile as well, referring to battle mech specifically. So I'm not too sure I'm too fond of the idea of going into Storm, but we'll see. And so far that's going to be 6 pro kills. 6 workers going down. Oh, as a lot of the look-ons are brutal. He's going to lose every single stalker. Ay, ay, ay. 2 stalkers, they try to get away. Oh my god. And one of them barely will. Ah, that's brutal. With that ReBellioN, he will lose map control. His third base is vulnerable. No shield batteries. Shield batteries just now on the way. Storm is ready. And ReBellioN, he's hurting. ReBellioN, he is in trouble. There's a first storm. There's the first. He has 2 more. He has 1 High Templar full of energy. He's got a couple of storms left. You can't waste them. There's the second storm. We have 1 storm remaining. I'm dropping into the natural. Rotating over. As from here, Clem just pulling away. Does pull away, gets a couple of workers, and remember, behind this, he wasn't all in. His third base is fully saturated. His third base is getting fully saturated. Now he can build up into the rest of his production. He's getting into a 5 factory setup, into more battle mech. Clem adapting to the patch and going battle mech, good to see. I would say he's adapting to the meta more so than the patch. I think we spoke about this a couple of days ago, but because the meta shifted to a lot of Protoss players going to Storm very early, this is a good kind of counter to that, just because Storm is less effective against battle mech. I would probably say that Protoss players are soon going to be, as battle mech is becoming more common and more popular, we're going to be seeing Protoss players adapt to that as well, and stop going into faster Storm and start playing safer, and most likely going into more robo heavy openers and robo heavy starts alongside their gateway army, of course, and then that will probably dissuade mech. So I can see like the meta shifting like again like in a couple of months, as it typically does. Storms, they graze the army. Locons, they will be able to shut down those Stalkers once again. The Stalkers, they don't blink away, they don't blink out. And with that, Clem, he will break through. He'll break through this army. He does overwhelm again. The Storms do nothing. GG gets called, and Clem will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the next round. GG. Whew, GG, well played. And again, this is why currently right now we're seeing this rise in popularity of mech, because Protoss players have been starting to go for these more Storm heavy starts and blindly going into Templar Archives and Storm. You can see here the Storm is much less effective here against this more heavy Hellion Cyclone style, because it's more mobile and because it does less damage. You can just punish, you can just bait out, and then just overwhelm. GG, well played. Clem does claim the series, does advance on to the next round. Let's go. Let us go. But that's also why, again, if you've been watching PvTs as of late, now the opponents of Clem, I'm referring to players like Max, Pax, and Hero and Classic, they have been going for, they've not been going for these Storm follow-ups now. Like they're adapting to that. But again, it's still recent. It's still very recent when it comes to how like battle mech has been becoming more trendy, more recent. And GG, well played with that. Clem does claim the series, very well done. And now we're going into the quarterfinals. We're following Clem into his next matchup. He's going up against Shin in that round of 8. Let's go. Let us go.